What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Titus, and I really appreciate you joining me today. So I'm going to start off. I've got a little bit of egg on my face. So we have a new event rolling in right after the last event. This one is for crafting legendary gear, right? Which is really nice. And this is something, you know, there's a lot of times I've been playing this game now where I'm like, man, I really wish Raid would do something like this. I really wish Raid would do events where, you know, outside of just, you know, your normal fusions and stuff like that, where you can spend a lot of time to try and perfectly craft a set of gear rather than just the hamster wheel that we have, which, you know, Element Fission has too, but you know, this is nice. I absolutely love the idea. The reason there's egg on my face is because last event I spent a lot of time just focus farming the champions, right? And what I mean by that, sorry, is you know, I was in campaign nonstop, just leveling up characters, and you know, because I thought to myself, well, what are the chances that I'll be able to just keep buying 2-star wisps? Well, it turns out I could have just kept buying 2-star wisps, but I don't necessarily regret it, because now with this event, I've just been hard farming the dungeons. So yeah, but I absolutely love the idea of these kind of events. I don't know if Summoner's War does it, but Raid doesn't. So to me, if I ain't seen it, it's new to me. So in today's video, I did want to do a tier list, and I might record that later on today, but right now I just wanted to record some easy stuff. And I really have been wanting to pull shards. I wanted to pull them so bad. The exclusives we've been waiting for next week, because in that pool we have the Fire Dr. Evil, and I would like to try and add him to my account. I'm not 100% sure, because we have Fire Dr. Evil next week, and then in 2 weeks we have Water Sorcerer, and I have the Fire Sorcerer and the Light Sorcerer, and it would be nice to add the Water one to the list. Other than that, we pretty much have just been doing the same thing, right? I mean, we've just been hard farming Boxing Club. We haven't really focus much on the heavy metal dungeon, although that'll probably change in the next couple of days, because as you can see here, I have a lot of food to 4- and 5-star people sitting in the wings. Like, I have a lot of it. So probably round out my heavy metal team, try and round out my Death Lab team. Underground Vegas, I heard that Dark Giant can solo it, and I'd like to try and put that to the test if possible. And then Anonymous HQ, I've dipped my toe in a little bit, but I haven't really spent the time to sit down and really figure out a strategy for this one. So let's get on to some pulls. So what I'd like to see today is we're gonna pull all of our elerium, and we've got some Twilight elerium sitting here. You know what? Maybe we'll go. You know what? Why not? We'll buy all the Twilight elerium we can, and then for the regular elerium, I think let's go ahead and make it an even 60, shall we? I don't necessarily recommend that other people do this unless you're a spender. If you're free to play, I definitely would not recommend. Although I suppose I don't really know at this point what you would hoard gems for. Double experience passes, if you're leveling up food, would definitely be there. Energy, I don't know. A lot of people see, I don't have any speed teams, so a lot of people have been complaining about running out of batteries. That is not a problem I've had. Although, like I said, I don't have any speed teams at the moment. So, you know, maybe later on that'll be a problem that I do have. Other than that, I mean, I imagine gold is so plentiful. As long as you're not just leveling any old piece of gear, I mean, I'm at 1.8 million now, right? Where I was in previous videos, you could actually just steadily watch it go up. Even though lately I have been farming gear and leveling gear. So I don't know that I would spend it on anything but energy. And I guess whatever the event stuff you can spend on it, right? Like the daily battery, the daily elerium, maybe the daily gear, and definitely the lucky dice. The lucky dice is so good. All right, so as we do these fissions, what are we looking for? Well, it's hard to really have a wish list because I've gotten extremely lucky in the past, and so part of me is thinking that I've probably used all of my luck. So I think we're just gonna sit back and see what comes to us. So we'll start with our first 10 pull. Like I said, it is nice to get some of these 3 stars because I do need them to book out other champion. Oh. Oh man. So I think if these videos show you anything, guys, is that if you want really good pulls, apparently all you gotta do is record yourself making these pulls and then upload them to YouTube. Fire Twin Blade is an absolute monster. I believe all of the highest arena teams are running him as a reviver. So yeah, okay, fair enough. Got very lucky on that. Okay, and we're gonna. I don't think this is gonna be another Nat 5. That would be absolutely ridiculous, right? No, it's we got a Ghost Captain. All right, not bad. Okay, we're getting another one. I mean, you love to see it. Triple gold on pulls, and we got another Water Bomb Man. We have like 4 of these sitting, and the only reason I haven't built any of them out is I'm literally just waiting for a Water Bomb Man that has at least a neutral attack attribute or a neutral attack IV. Because all of the Water Bomb Men I have negative attack IVs, and that's not really, to me at least, that's not conducive to a kit that wants to blow people up with bombs that scale off of your attack. That's just me though. That's just me. All right, so that first 10 pull was quite good. All right, we're gonna get blue taxed, but can't really complain about that. Can't really complain, and like I said, we are looking for some. For some of these Nat 3s, we're really actually just looking for duplicates. All right, we got another water puppet artist. That's nice for our arena team. We've been using him quite a bit, and it would be nice to get a couple of copies so that we can feed them in and, you know, get the stacks up, get the abilities booked out. So that's never a problem. Never something you don't like to see. Have a lot of Garolians here, occult dancers. Realistically, we are looking for a lot of copies of Occult Dancer because at the end of this video, I'll give you just a sneak peek into kind of another thing that we're working on the side, which I noticed that a lot of people aren't, but we are. Okay, so we've got another tree assassin. I've heard he's really good for arena too, and can actually be pretty good in places like Boxing Club if you just want to stack poisons. So we already had a copy of him, but having another copy, like I said, is never a problem when you want to book them out and get those stacks. Okay, all right. So 20 more pulls to go. 20 more pulls to go. And we got more dupes. Nat 3s, like I said, we're looking for more occult dancers because of a little side thing that I've been working on. Giant, all right, we're gonna get another Nat 4, potentially Nat 5. Ghost Captains. I've pulled so many Ghost Captains. It's actually nutty. And I actually really like I actually think the Ghost Captain is really good. I think he's kind of I feel like with this A3, he's kind of slept on a little bit. I haven't really seen people talk too much about him. And that's really what I mean by being slept on, is I just don't see people really talking about Water Ghost Captain, but I think his potential is there for sure. All right, we've pulled all of our elerium. And so now we move on to our Twilight elerium. And these we're gonna single pull, slow roll, love to see it. All right, Light Dome Fighter. I actually really like Light Dome Fighter, mostly because of this passive, where she's gonna go out, she's gonna increase her defense, she's gonna taunt everybody. Then she's going to, on her A1, she's stunning. And I actually think she's really good in a revenge set, where she taunts everybody, people are gonna hit her, and then if the revenge set procs, she's gonna hit them and potentially stun them, basically, you know, putting 2 turns of CC as opposed to 1 with the taunt. And I think she's really good because of this passive where no hits can exceed 20% of her health, right? So stuff like that just innately makes someone really, really tanky. So I would be interested to try and test her out. I think her best place is in Tunnel and Arena. And the thing is, Tunnel and Arena have a lot of overlap, because when you really stop and think about it, everything that's pure wave based content, like there is no boss at the end of it, anything like that, anybody who's good in PvP is also going to shine in the Tunnel. And so I think Light Dome Fighter definitely has potential. I wouldn't say she's amazing, and my thought process of her is kind of pie in the sky with the revenge set, right? Which is only, I think, like a 20% or 15% chance to proc. Although I think if you put her in 3 sets, it's almost 50% chance to proc a counterattack. So, you know, then you also have to, then you're kind of also at the whim of the A1 actually stunning the target. All right, we got Light Sharpshooter. Light Sharpshooter is one that I've actually seen people using in some of their teams. This removing all inability debuffs and recovering HP, along with the buff strip on her A2. She's a fairly solid support. I'll be honest, I don't look at her as highly as maybe some other people do, just because I think her kit, depending on what you get your hands on and how you build certain other mons, I think you can get more mileage out of others than Sharpshooter. But I think the fact that you do get at least 1 copy for free, and I'm thinking about, I guess, the Vegas dungeon, although I don't know if you can actually strip the petrification with this A3. I'll have to test that out. All right, moving on through with our next Twilight, and we got Light Turtle Tank. Increase the max HP of all allies by 10% of your max HP. Decrease the incoming damage of all allies except you by 15%. And then it has the defense down and the stun. Okay. I think, I'm going to be honest with you, I think the Light Turtle Tank would be better if it had the A2 from, I believe it's the Fire Turtle Tank, where you apply Veil to your entire team. I think he'd be a lot better then, but you know, nothing. Increasing max HP of all allies and decreasing the damage they take is a really good passive. He doesn't really blow me away when I first look at him. You know what I mean? All right, get another, and we've got Dark Garolian. Now we have like 2 copies of him already. He's another person, or another Mon champion, whatever, that I've actually kind of thought about when it comes to the arena, because he has this massive nuke on his A3 that also blocks revive, and it ignores all buffs and each buff on the target. Now, each buff on the target also increases the damage he's dealing. Now, I will say this. I don't think in my current setup he's all that great. And that's the reason why I haven't really tested him out much, is because with Light Music Queen, the chances that the enemy team are going to have any buffs on them is pretty slim. But I think he's really good as a counter to certain builds in the game. I've seen a lot of people trying to run unyielding teams, or like their nuker has unyielding, so they're constantly taking turns. And then I believe it's the fire bear is kind of the perfect scenario for that. But even then, his passive would keep him alive. So I don't know. Dark Garolian, I definitely think he'd be interesting in the arena, but I haven't really built him out yet, so hard to say. All right. Oh man, I was kind of hoping for light Popo Rider. I know she was nerfed, and that's so there's a bit of a semantics thing going on with that. She wasn't nerfed, she was fixed. She was actually just straight up broken, and then she wasn't behaving the way she was supposed to. At least when I read the patch notes, that's how I read it. It wasn't so much I mean, it technically was a nerf, but it was more of like they weren't supposed to be acting this way from the jump. So damage received from light Elamon is decreased by 50%, from others is decreased by 20. Okay, so just a tanky passive grants you 1 turn of unyield and reflect if you receive fatal damage. And then she's got the defense down and the attack down. Okay, so her whole shtick is just kind of being super tanky and surviving a lot. Although I'll be honest with you, it doesn't impress me much, because a passive like this where you reduce damage, you're kind of hoping that the rest of the kit gives you a reason to want to keep this person around for a while. And she's got no AoE kind of debuffs. It's all single target. I mean, I look at it, and you know what this kit says to me? This kit says to me, this is something where someone, myself, or maybe another content creator, figures out a way where she can solo or like 2-man dungeons or something by just being the target and never dying. And it's like a 2-man team, and you can, I don't know, run food with it or something, but you don't get experience in dungeons in this game. So I don't even know why you would 2-man. Yeah, I don't know. This kit is hard for me to wrap my head around. I'll be honest. It's easy to wrap my head around. It's hard for me to say, okay, I know exactly where this would want to be used. And our last pull, our last Nat 3 is a Dark Clockwork. Increase speed by 15, increases speed by 15 for each buff possessed in addition. Okay. And then this attack ignores defense, and this attack scales off of speed. This one doesn't scale off of speed though, so that's weird, because pretty much every other Clockwork has an A2 where they attack and they're giving themselves increased speed. I know that the trade-off is that this is ignoring defense. I don't know. It's just a weird spread of it's a weird spread for me, because you want to build him fast, and his passive wants you to build him fast and also stack him with a ton of buffs, which of course a lot of times you want to do that with your nukers anyway. And so this I feel like I don't know. It's one of those things where if I have the time, I'll test him out, or I'll just watch someone else try and test him out, because I can see the potential behind the kit, but I really feel like with this A2 not scaling off of speed as well, I'm really wondering what his nuking potential looks like. Okay, so those are the pulls. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and be a little greedy. We'll be a little greedy piggy, and we're gonna pull 10 more. We're gonna do 10 more. Oh, okay. So right off the bat, we are getting a Nat 4, and we're getting Firebomb Man. Okay, not bad. At least he has a positive attack IV. That's always nice. We have quite a few of him as well, so maybe the game's trying to tell me to, experiment with some bomb teams, which I have thought about. Okay, we're getting 2 Nat 4s back to back. You love to see. Okay, we're getting a Nat 5. Never mind. We're getting the Water Psychosurgeon. We have the tree one. So let me take a look at this. Get concentration stacks by keeping attack okay, by attacking the same target and lose all stacks if target changed. Okay, so that right there is telling me this is pretty good for dungeons. Increase your speed by 20 each time. So potentially increasing your speed by up to 100. When attacking a focus target, it will be judged as attribute advantage. And when being attacked by a focus target, it will be judged as attribute disadvantage. Oh, okay. Okay. And when the focus target attacks, you will counterattack. All right. So basically, this guy really, really wants to attack. So he's a dungeon monster, right? Because he's going super fast. He's always, no matter the dungeon you use him in, when he's attacking the boss, it's going to always be positive attribute. And when he's attacked by the boss, it'll always be negative attribute. Attack an enemy 3 times. Each attack has a 50 to 80% chance to inflict 2 turns defense down. And then attack an enemy has a 50% chance to inflict a 2-turn damage over time or damage over turn, and then damage is based on your speed, which you're stacking a lot of, right? With this passive, now another thing I have to wonder is that if this A3 just right off rip gives you 3 stacks of concentration, which sounds insane. This guy looks like an absolute monster for dungeons, but also what are they called? Okay, we're getting another nat 4, maybe nat 5. Gotten really lucky with the pulse today. Okay, we got a string made. We already have a string made, and actually I could feed her into the water one for some stacks and some passives, and I'll explain that thought process in a second. All right, really interesting pulls. Really, really, really interesting pulls. Let's see. Did anyone ever? Okay, guys, come on. What are we doing here? I was actually just interested to see if anybody said anything about those pulls, because I know people were going crazy when I pulled the 2 LD5s. But yeah, this place right here, the Abyss dungeons, because the Abyss dungeons don't have waves. There's just a single boss, and so he seems like he would be insane for a setup like that where you're just fighting one guy. You know what I mean? Also, as a DPS in, let me see if I can find it, the survival simulator. The survival simulator, he seems like he would also be an absolute nutty. He seems like he would be an absolute nutty DPS for the Colossi, because regardless of where you put him, like even if you put him against the decaying Colossi or Colossus, he will just constantly be getting the preferential attribute and not getting the bad attribute. As for what I was talking about with the side thing, a lot of people, I think these Colossi, I realize, I don't know if it's just my guild, I think a lot of people are focusing on just doing dungeons, tunnel, maybe some arena, and then also farming mons. I think that the Colossi are super important as well, because hitting this 10k gets you your 5 come on guys, help me out. Your elerium gets you your 5 elerium, right? Now 10k seems like a lot, and it is, to be fair. It most assuredly is. What I've been working on is a team that basically goes the 50 turns unkillable. With Light Sork, I have, 2 turns of invincible and immunity. However, you can actually increase the duration of both of those buffs. I don't know if it was the same way in Summoner's War, but I can guarantee you it is not the same way in Raid. Unkillable and block damage, which is invincible, you cannot extend those buffs because basically it would make the game too breakable. You know what I mean? It would make it too easy to break the game to where your team would constantly be unkillable. And so the devs decided, yes, when it comes to buff duration extension, those 2 buffs don't count. However, in this game they do, and I have Water String Maid here, who attacks an enemy 3 times, but then extends buff duration by 1 turn of all allies. And then I have Occult Dancer, who does the same exact thing. Now, the only problem I've been having is, well, it was a couple things. It was either A, with my turtle tank and his 3-turn decrease cooldowns by 1 turn and grant a 2-turn speed up. This decrease of cooldowns, I figured with this 4 core, I could basically make an unkillable team, and then I would just need a really solid DPS. And I've been using Tree Sharpshooter because I can't overstate it. I think a lot of people rate the Tree one unfairly when I see people talking about her in like the chat and stuff, because she's really solid with this passive, just constantly ignoring 20% enemy defense and having a second attack that executes. She can pump out some really consistent damage. Now, the problem I'm having right now with this team is I don't have it synced. And so I don't know that I want to show you guys right now, mostly because the runtime on this video is already getting kind of long. And I think this could deserve a video all on its own. But that gives you something to look forward to, is that I'll probably be doing a video where I kind of showcase what I'm working on with the Colossus, because I think the faster you can get to this 10 million damage, or 10,000, oh yeah, this would be 10 million damage. The faster you can get to this 10 million damage, you can get these little rewards, right? And this is like, looks like the most consistent way to farm elerium. And so basically all I have to do is, with these 5 keys, at least in the beginning, if I can at least deal 10 million damage, or at least if I can hit about 2 million damage per key, then I can get my rewards at least from one of the Colossi every however many days. I think it's like 4 or 5 days that these run in cycle, to at least consistently start farming some more elerium, right? There's other places like the tunnel and stuff where you can farm the elerium, but this is like a weekly thing. And I mean, the more the merrier, right? If I can get some from Colossus, if I can get some from clearing the tunnel, and honestly, looking at it, the consistent rewards from the tunnel, you don't actually get a ton of elerium, right? You get the first time rewards, but if you're looking for consistent farmable stuff, there's 3 there, 5 there, there's 8, and then 1 Twilight. There's another 5 here, so that's what, 13, 14, so 15. And then of course that's not speaking to hard, which also, in the same tracker has quite a few you can farm too, right? So tunnel is definitely also important, but this is probably the raid player in me. Getting your clan boss team set in raid is so vital. And so when I see the raid boss or the clan boss equivalent in this game, it's hard for me to turn my brain off, say, don't worry about it, stop focusing on it, and move on to something else, right? As you can see, a lot of the members in my team, and to be fair, I just don't think that most people are, worried about it, but I am. So that's been it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that fancy YouTube stuff. It really helps the channel. Really surprised on the polls today. a couple really interesting mons that I want to get my hands on now and kind of build out, especially that water surgeon. He looks absolutely insane as a damage dealer. So let me know how your guys' pulls have been. Here's me giving you a little bit of luck to help you out. But as for now, that's been all from me. I've been Titus. Thanks for joining me, guys. And until next time, I'll see you.